Hello, welcome back to 3D Drawing for your Model Railway. Going to continue working on the RHV today and looking to start adding the cab sections and potentially some of the windows in on the front here. I'm going to be again using the pictures provided and trying to add that detail. Some of the measurements are there, some aren't, so it's going to again be a little bit of guesstimation. Just trying to make things look right with it really. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is hollow this unit out so we can actually get things inside of it. Now, obviously we'd normally use the shell tool, but I'll show you here, if we select the bottom face to shell, do 1mm, it won't actually let you try to throw up an error. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split the body. I'm going to select that body to split. I'm going to use the splitting tool as that bottom surface in here. And then we can just turn off that base part. It's still there, but we just don't need it for the moment. The next thing I want to do is shell. Let me shell that. It is. Yes, it will. So we're just going to use 1mm thickness shell on that. That takes off everything internally from this part. And then click on OK. What we can do is, it's two choices. You can either leave that as is, or extrude that back to that surface just to make that solid internally there. Because we're not going to put anything inside it, so that would benefit from being like that. And then what you can do is turn that body back on, and then combine those two bodies. And then you've still got your body one, but it's now hollow internally here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it uncombined for the moment, in case we need to do anything internally. We've still got that ability to get to it, but I don't think we will. But while we do these windows, we'll leave it as it is there. Okay, so looking at the photograph here, this side window follows this front profile. I do have some dimensions in a minute, but essentially we're just going to create initially this line down here, across, up and across the two to create that shape. Now, because that side's at an angle, you won't be able to then extrude horizontally, try to extrude diagonally down into it, which is absolutely fine if you're happy with that. That's another reason why having this as one part isn't an issue. You can still get into things. So creating a sketch onto that side profile, and I'm going to put a line that's going to be parallel to this one. You see the double lines here is the constraint that's paralleling that up, and then we'll just finish off the rest of the shape here. So you've got the basic shape. We can put some fillets at 0.75 on the corners. Okay, so you've got 0.75 fillet all the way around the outside. Okay, so some of these pictures, like this one, we've got the top of the window, the curve looks like it's 117 centimeters, sorry. So we can do a dimension across there, which is 170 divided by 1.8. And then the height, so these three are the height, and it's pretty much 2 foot. So dimension foot height there, which would be 2 foot divided by 1.8. And that height obviously doesn't work, so we have to move that down. Okay, and then obviously the biggest problem then is our wall thicknesses, which shouldn't be too much of an issue. There's no dimension change that. No dimension looking at the distance here, but you can see that it's not particularly big. So we could define that gap. We need to have some sort of thickness, so I'm going to go with 0. Yeah, let's go 0.75, and then we'll define from the top edge to there 0.3 millimeters. That's then defined all of this. We should be able to extrude that. If we turn off the lower body, we should be able to extrude that all the way through as a cut. This is what I did think would be an issue here, is the thickness of the window there on the inside, but because we're putting the front window on, that shouldn't be a problem, because we'll remove this material in here when we take the window out. This window is also on both sides, so we can use the same mirror tool again, mirror the feature, and then the mirror plane would be plane 1 again. So we've got window on both sides now. So the next thing we're going to do is the front cab windows. I've got a few pictures and some measurements of these. This is probably one of the best pictures to show you exactly what it's shaped like. You can see we've got a nice straight section down the middle, horizontal across the top, diagonal, and this matches the profile on these two. So again, we're going to create a sketch on the front, but what I'm going to do is create an offset plane, I think, first. I'm going to create it vertically. I'm just going to use this back panel here, and then I can draw it back through on the front of the window here. So I've just bought that 40, you can put it wherever you want, 40 millimeters is beyond the front of the cab there. I'm going to draw on that profile. I don't want to rotate, that would be helpful. Okay, and need to think about whereabouts that window is going to be. Now, I think it comes up these two, so that one and that one. It follows this profile. So if we project on these profiles, I don't think we need the third one, but project on those 3 profiles there, and that will enable us to follow that. And we're going to use, where's that sketch closed? That's it, so editing that sketch, okay, cool. So we've got the line tool. So it follows that profile, and then I want to follow that one, and then it comes across, and then it comes down and across. So that's the sort of shape we're looking for. Now I just need to find measurements. So I'm going to create a wall thickness there of 0.75, and then I'm going to do the same on that one. They do have filleted windows, so we should probably do that. Create that to 0.75. Catch up a second. That's that 0.75 profile all the way around for the radius. Now I need to find measurements. Okay, so the width across the bottom here is 80 centimeters. So that'll be from there across. Dimension that to that. 800 mil. this top one looks like it's 24 mil. 240 divided by 148. Undo that a second. I don't want this to move. Try and see how high it is first, if that's going to throw that out. That's the side window. Okay, unfortunately, no, that one. 85 centimeters. So from there to there. 850 divided by 8. Okay, so now we can see we're having an issue caused by wall thicknesses. So we're probably going to want to reduce the height here. Let's change that to 5.5. So that's too big. Let's go 4.75. 1.62. Okay, so I think profile wise it looks about okay. So if we extrude that back into the cab and see what we get then. Cut that away. I'm not going to worry too much about this little bit in here because once you glaze that, you can't really see it. I think the profile looks alright though. So again, we can use your mirror tool. Mirror that feature across plane 1, which is the midpoint. Gives us the cab windows on both sides. So how does that compare to that? I don't know, maybe it looks a little bit too wide, but measurement wise, I don't know whether to make it a little bit narrower across the width. I don't know, I think maybe it'll be alright, we'll see how it goes. And across the middle here we've got like a centerpiece that juts out, and looking at this, the width of that is pretty much 50 centimeters across. So we can create a profile on here, front face. I think it goes all the way up to the top. Snap to the bottom edge. Top there. And then what I'm actually going to do is drag those two in slightly so we can see them. And then we're going to constrain that point. No, wait a minute, we don't want to do vertically, horizontally constrain that point to that point. And the same on this side, constrain those two. going to leave this bit sort of floating at the top there. Dimension the height there. Let's go for 7.2 just for ease to follow it. And select those two profiles to get that back while I'm holding shift down and left click. Selecting that, and then we can extrude. And we need to come to that edge. That needs to go higher. That'll be a join. Just try and reflect that, and then get a piece on the top there, and we're just going to drag that up to that height. Join. Although I don't like the way it sticks out the front there, but we can get rid of that, I think, by just selecting that profile and then extruding that in that direction. No, because that cuts that down. So that what we'll need to do is do an offset plane from that face, get a sketch on that face, projecting on that profile, select that profile, and then cut that off that way. Okay. I'm not sure it looks right at the top here. That front view comes out further, so it's probably not wrong. And I'm going to go with it. That definitely comes out the full thickness of this part. What I will do, as I don't like that being constrained there, so we edit that sketch. No, not that one. It's that sketch. Delete that constraint there and that constraint there. Bring these two in. We'll put dimension from there to the window 0.3. We'll do the same on this side. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, so now we've done that, I think I'm going to leave this episode at this point. We've done about 20 minutes or so of work there. We've got the windows added in both the sides and the front. I think it looks actually alright. I think obviously it'll look better once there's more detail added. At the moment it looks a little bit weird and sparse on the front, but it's going in the right direction. So hopefully you've agreed with the decisions I've made there and you follow along okay. And thanks for watching the episodes.